We are speaking with the one and only Frances Lyon, a new talent for everybody to discover, as we say here in Montreal. Bonjour, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I've been checking out your music for the last couple of weeks. Impressed. Just
Thank you.
totally impressed. You've got a song, of course, called Home, which is the latest single. The words just speak to me. Just let me start off with that single that came out in May with Home. Talk to me about that lyrical content and where does that emotion come from?
Well, I grew up in a really small town and I kind of just always wanted to leave. And I did when I was quite young and I got the hell out of there. And when you leave, you kind of realize how much of your identity stems from where you're from and the friends you grew up with and the area and the space and family. And yeah, it was like kind of no matter where you are in the world, that will always be in you. Like you can't get rid of that.
Yeah, as they say, you can take the girl out of Jersey, but not the Jersey out of the girl, right?
Yeah,
That's sort of the
exactly.
expression. Let me get over here to your partnership with Linda Perry. Linda Perry, of course, from Four Non Blondes, but since then has been writing and producing some of the greatest artists, including Pink, Christina Aguilera, Gwen Stefani, Ariana Grande, and more. How did that combination come about? How did that, no, well, not combination, but how did that working partnership come about?
Well, it's actually a really quite funny story because I think it happened by a complete accident. Um, and it was like Linda's old manager, she had had her for years, and they parted ways. And she, the manager had booked me in for a session with Linda, and I'd never been to the States before. All of a sudden, I'm in my home studio, and they're like, Linda Perry wants to work with you. I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean Linda Perry wants to work with me? I'm just little old me. And then I got to LA and I got to the studio like the most nervous wreck I've ever been. And Linda's like, um, so I don't actually know who you are. And I was like, what? And everything that I
It's
kind of
fun.
imagined was going to happen didn't happen. And she's like, yeah, like all I have is like Beth UK. And we were booked for 7 days as well, which she never does. So I don't know how that happened. And she was like, I can't cancel on her because she's coming from London. And so yeah, we started playing and I played her some songs which she didn't actually really like that much. And then she was like, pick up a guitar and play me a song. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I did. And then she was like, oh, damn, let's write an album and let's just keep making music. And then yeah, she's kind of been like my music mum ever since.
That's kind of a funny story. So she doesn't like your songs, and she's a great songwriter. So what kind of advice does she say to you? Does she say move the chorus, put a verse here, add a like? How does she say to you, let's make these better?
I mean, to be honest, it was when I was kind of first starting, and it was mainly like production things, and they were kind of all over the place, and I didn't really have like a secured sound, and it wasn't very authentic to me. Like when you work with other producers and they kind of just do their thing on it, and you get it back, and you're like, that's not what we wrote. That's not what it was meant to sound like. So it was more on the production side, but she, we kind of worked together and she's kind of helped me nail in my sound.
So for fans that don't know you, what is the sound? I mean, to me it harkens back to some of the great songstress, the singers of the day, the Janis Joplins. What is the sound you're going for?
I mean, it's not really that far from that. I mean, I am who isn't obsessed with Janis Joplin, let's be honest.
True.
Um, I listen to like a lot of, well, I grew up with a lot of that. Janis Joplin, Stevie Nicks, and they're kind of my go-to power women. And then um, I guess just from there, it's always been that kind of real raw sound. I don't really like overproducing too much. Um, but I guess it stems from there. I'm obsessed with like Angel Olsen and Sharon Van Etten at the moment, and all sorts of people. I guess it depends what mood I'm in, but I feel like right now I'm like stripping everything back quite a lot
Yeah, well,
and
we're
just being
I was going to say,
so.
let's talk about that because, you have the EP Lion that comes out in 2018. You release some singles in 2019. 2020 is going to be the breakout year. and then COVID says, no, it's not. Forget it. You're not going anywhere. But you do the van sessions. You respond by basically stripping it down and hopping in your van and throwing out some videos and stuff, which were just delightful to watch. Talk to me about that process. And again, what do you learn by taking the music to that sort of very pure form where you're just sort of sitting in a van, just working out songs?
Well, the van sessions came around because I was literally bored out of my mind, like I think the whole entire world was. Um, and my cousin was living around the corner, so after the first lockdown, she does like videos, and we were like, let's just go and film some stuff, purely out of boredom and because there's absolutely nothing to tell anyone about when you're not doing anything. I was like, I need to do something before I pull my hair out. But yeah, it's been nice. I started like playing just acoustic guitar and singing. There was just me and my little guitar when I was quite young, and used to play loads of gigs that way. And then it wasn't until kind of Lion was formed that it all got like slightly heavier and rockier. But I think lockdown hitting and kind of having a minute to like breathe and take a step back from everything, I realized that actually I do like stripping things back and
Yeah. Pure sound.
yeah, keeping things simple, the simple life, you know?
When I was researching everything and I looked on the YouTube page and I saw all the different videos, a lot of them were listed as Lion, and then one of them was listed as Francis Lion and said, "I'm glad to be releasing my first song as Francis Lion." I'm glad. Talk to me about that and branching out and just being Francis Lion and not a band or a brand, just being you.
Yeah, I mean, Francis is my middle name, so adding it to Lion, it just felt immediately more personal and more me than it was before. Also, I think beforehand people just assumed I was a band, and I mean, I wish I was a
Well,
band,
I mean,
but
it does. I
unfortunately,
mean, Lion looks like a band name.
yeah,
Like
I
it
think
looks
there
like a
was a
hair
band in
metal
the
name.
80s
Yeah. Well, there was White
called
Lion.
Lion, and there's a band called Lion, and they all kind of look like me as well. They've all got like big curly
But
hair, but these dudes, like
yeah,
amazing glam rock looking guys.
yeah.
But that is not me. They come up first in Google though. Um, and that was another reason I added Francis, because everyone, you don't, if you Google Lion, I do not come up.
No,
Everything else comes up
just
before me, including Lionel Richie. He comes up and he's not even spelled like Lion. So
by the way, it is very important because you look at some of the old bands, whether it's Kiss or whatever, and now that you Google them, you can't find them. You find all this other stuff.
I
So,
know.
so how important is it to have sort of that proper name and make you findable?
I mean, this day and age where everything's so online and on social media, you kind of need to be found. I mean, I'm a bit of an old soul and I don't really like social media, but it's, you know, everyone's got to do it, and that's part of the job.
Yeah.
But yeah, being able to, there was one point hit when someone was like, I can't find you on Instagram. Can you do it? And I took their phone and I couldn't find me. And I was like, oh, that's not good.
That's not good at all.
No, when you can't find your own Instagram page it's not ideal.
And I got to say that the social media for me has taken over my life. I mean, I spend the entire day creating posts and you know, I did a master's in psychology. I have 2 kids. I have all kinds of great stuff. And my greatest moment was when Twitter verified me. I went, oh my God, I have made it. I
Congratulations.
know, I know. And that shouldn't be an accomplishment, but that's the
I know
world
it
we're
kind
in
of
now.
is though, isn't it?
It
When you
is.
get that little blue tick, you're like, ooh,
I
what
got the
does that
check
mean?
mark. I
I'm
got the check
official.
mark. And people went, it's your daughter's birthday. I went, yeah, I don't care. I got a check
Yeah,
mark.
I don't get
What?
throw a party for that occasion just for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Celebrate your dad, folks.
The Twitter graduation.
The Trader yeah, it was a very big moment. And I tell you when I complain to a company, they listen now. But let me get back to the importance of your team around you. So you've got Linda Perry in one corner, and you've got Red Light Management in the other. And Red Light does a whole bunch of bands, including Slash. What is sort of the plan for your sort of conquering the world, because with Linda writing songs, producing, giving you advice, being your mom, and Red Light, which no, I mean, they know what they're doing. What is sort of the plan in terms of getting an album and getting on tour and getting to that next level where people go, oh yeah, Frances Lyon, I know her.
Well, I'm hoping it happens soon. I mean, it's just
Mm-hmm.
been such a pain having to shut everything down for over a year. Um, but I've got lots of new music. I've been writing like crazy, so I've got a new song coming out next month, and then the plan is to just keep releasing. I think a song a month or a song every 6 weeks until the next forever, and then I'm kind of working on an album. I've almost written it, and then I think I'll look at maybe recording that at the end of the year or early next year, and hopefully get my butt on the road
Oh,
because man, I want to play a show bad.
well, yeah, you
I've
listen to
forgotten how.
it's essential to do. Let me just quickly talk about those singles that Black Eyed Peas and John Five. They did that sort of concept of a song a month because you're in the Twitter feed, you're in the Instagram feed every month. Somebody goes, oh, there's a new John Five. Oh, there's a new. Talk to me about that strategy and getting that one song a month, just so that your name, Frances Lyon, is there every month with something new.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just keeps everything fresh and it keeps everyone on their toes a little bit more. I am, I mean, I love an album. I love putting an album on and listening to an album from front to back. But I also think it's important to make sure you've got people there engaged for when you do release the album. Um, Also, it's nice to release songs. Like now we're starting to release music again. It's nice to write a song not that long ago and then have it out maybe 6 months later. And it's like rather than writing something and then it's like 3 years and then you
Yeah,
release it. And by the time it's released, you're like, oh, I never want to hear it again.
yeah.
When
Listen,
it's like, fresh, it keeps things exciting.
there's a band that I love called Buck Cherry. They just put out a new album, and they wrote it in 2019. And I said, "Are you excited about your new album?" And they went, "Yeah, we've already heard it for 2 years." And it's just like,
Yeah,
huh. So, yeah, I guess how do you get motivated to go play a show when you're already bored of your own songs? Not that
I
they're
know.
bored, but
I know.
right?
I mean, that's just what it is, though. When you play, though, it all comes back. It's all exciting again once you're playing it live. But when you just hear yourself on repeat all the time, same songs, it's like, go away.
Yeah,
Shush.
yeah. I know it's hard to do now. In terms of your style moving forward, do you sort of say, I'm Frances Lyon and this is what I do? Or if a producer comes to you and says, listen, we're going to turn you into the next Dua Lipa, we're going to turn you into the next Madonna and pop up the stuff and make it more radio for, do you go, yeah, okay, great? Or do you say, no, 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 no.
No,
I'm me and I stick to what I do?
absolutely no. I mean, my 6-year-old self, if I wanted to be a pop star, would be crying. But no, no, I wouldn't be. I mean, I couldn't. Have you seen Dua Lipa? She's an absolute smoking babe pop star. That's not me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be fun. But yeah,
Listen,
stick to my guns.
about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was covering a show in Montreal called Osheaga, which is a festival, 150,000 people, and Dua Lipa was there. And I had no idea who she was. And walked by her backstage, had no idea that I walked by her backstage. And she came out and she mesmerized me. Her show was one of the best shows I've seen in my entire life. It was just perfect, from the song choice to the crowd, just everything. And it was just a sea of people. It was, what a star. What a star.
Interesting. I know she just is a pop star. Like,
Just
and her
fascinating.
new album's really fun.
Yeah, it is. And
It's a great record. It's dancey, but like disco. Love it.
yeah, listen, as a old school metal fan of Iron Maiden and Kiss and all that, I shouldn't be saying this, but she's the real deal. She truly is the real deal.
See, that means she's a real deal when it's a guy like you, a rocker.
A rocker. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
telling you that. I've seen probably 2,000, 3,000 gigs in my life, and that was one of the greatest because it was just mesmerizing. She just, anyway. In fact, in terms of your live show, how do you sort of set it up to be mesmerizing? What's a live show? What's a Frances Lyon live show like?
Well, it kind of changes a little bit sometimes. I do a lot of shows with my brother. He plays drums and he produces all my stuff and my new stuff, and we do lots of writing together. So we kind of did this like two-piece thing for a while. Um,
Like the White Stripes,
yes,
but better.
exactly like the race. Yeah,
Of course.
obviously.
Of course.
He's rubbish. um, yeah, we are doing that for a while, which I really love. It's really fun being on stage with my bro. Like we have a wicked relationship, um, and then I expanded my band for a little bit to do some bigger tours. I toured with like Band of Horses and things like that, and I took a whole band, which was really fun. Like playing with a full band just is the funnest thing to do. Um, but it gets very expensive. So
Yep.
stripping it back is the biggest long term answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think when it opens again, I'll probably go back to a two piece, or maybe even get a three piece kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And you're in the UK
Keep it loud.
between Brexit and between trying to get over to North America. You got to keep those expenses down.
We are screwed in every
Yeah.
way. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Well, you can thank Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden for that. Anyway, the latest single is Home, and her collaboration with Linda Perry is going to give the world great things. I just know it. On that, Francis, absolute pleasure. Merci.
Thank you so much. It was lovely meeting you.
You too. Let's do another one.
Yes, I'd love that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Bye bye. Perfect.